I'm going to demonstrate to you with Joshua how you can do the hot and cold treatments. So you need a bucket of hot and a bucket of cold. And what you also need is another kettle beside, which we'll get ready here. So this is the hot. If you could put it in the hot. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, both in there. Now this is very simple. This is hot for 3 minutes. So we're looking at the clock, so at almost 1:15.
Here's a surprising fact. Nearly 75% of people will experience foot problems in their lifetime. Yet most of us don't realize how simple the solutions can be. But don't worry, I've got some good news for you. According to Barbara ONeill, healing your feet doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated routines. In fact, the key to rebuilding foot health lies in natural remedies and small everyday habits that anyone can start using right away. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore Barbara ONeill's secrets to unlocking healthier, stronger feet. You'll learn how to relieve common foot issues like pain, inflammation, and even poor circulation using simple, effective techniques that work with your body's natural healing processes. Ready to take control of your foot health? Let's dive into these powerful remedies and lifestyle changes that could transform the way your feet feel and function. Hot and cold foot baths. Barbara ONeill recommends starting with hot and cold foot baths, a simple yet powerful remedy that can transform foot health. This method, also known as contrast hydrotherapy, involves alternating between soaking your feet in hot water for 3 to 5 minutes, followed by a short soak in cold water for about 30 seconds to 1 minute.
So before we begin demonstrating, I'd like to go through some basic guidelines onto why hot and cold treatments do what they do. I've touched on it last night and I touched on it a little bit yesterday, but I want to show you basically what cold does. So first of all, we'll look at hot though. And hot, initially, so the initial effect of hot water on the body, and basically I'm talking about water. I'm not talking about cool air or hot air, I'm talking about water. And with water, water can be used in 3 forms. It can be used as a gas, and the gas is steam. It can be used solid, and the solid, of course, is ice. And it can be used as a liquid, and the liquid, of course, is the water. So they're the 3 forms of water that we use in hydrotherapy treatments. But first of all, we'll have a look at the effect of hot. The initial effect of hot is stimulation. And in this weather, we all know it. We're cold and we have a hot shower, or we're cold and we have a hot bath. When you get into that hot water, there's a stimulating effect, isn't it? Tingling. But if we stay in that hot bath, it is not long before everything slows down. We call it depression. So the lasting effect, or the prolonged effect, is depression, or a total slowing down. Now, the difference between hot and cold is the time it takes to get from the stimulating effect to the depressing effect. And the time is 3 minutes. So let's have a look at cold. When you apply cold water, the initial effect is stimulation. Now, one of my patients that I'm going to use, I call a patient or subject, I've prepared him that I'm going to be applying cold. And he's going to go like this. And we've done a lot of discussion on that, and he assures me that he doesn't mind a bit of cold. We don't like cold because we're warm-blooded creatures. So the initial effect of cold is stimulation. That's why we go, that's why it's, that will really wake you up, won't it? But the lasting effect of cold is also depression. And that's where people can die of hypothermia. being in cold for a long, long time, everything just slows down and all body systems stop. But the difference is with cold, it only takes 30 seconds. It only takes 30 seconds to get from stimulation to depression. So when we do the hot and cold treatments, and last night I explained the little boy with the swollen finger, and we had two cups, and it was hot for 3 minutes, cold for 30 seconds, and we did that 3 times. Now the reason you only do it 3 times is because it has a dramatic effect to move blood in a mighty way. And what happens is the body gets exhausted after three times. So you're better to do 3 times every 2 hours rather than 6 times every 6 hours. Can you see that? Why would you do it every 2 hours? Well, if someone's in pain and it's bringing them a lot of relief, that's what you would do. That's in a crisis, you might do it. You might do it like that. And so, as we've already discussed in our previous lectures, you can do hands, you can do elbows, you can do feet, you can sit in it.
The contrast between the hot and cold temperatures stimulates blood flow in a way that promotes faster healing, reduces inflammation, and soothes aching muscles and joints. The hot water causes your blood vessels to dilate, which increases circulation to the feet and helps deliver more oxygen and nutrients to the tissues. This not only supports the healing process, but also provides instant relief from stiffness, soreness, and pain. After soaking in hot water, the shift to cold water causes the blood vessels to constrict, which reduces swelling and inflammation. This alternating dilation and constriction of blood vessels act like a pump, flushing out toxins and lactic acid buildup that may be contributing to foot discomfort. Hot and cold foot baths are particularly beneficial for those suffering from conditions like plantar fasciitis, arthritis, or swelling in the feet. It's an effective way to target inflammation without the need for medication, making it a natural and gentle solution for ongoing foot pain. Barbara ONeill emphasizes that this remedy works because it leverages the body's own healing mechanisms, boosting circulation where it's needed most while calming down areas of inflammation. To maximize the benefits, Barbara recommends repeating the hot and cold cycle 3 to 4 times, finishing with cold water. Afterward, it's a good idea to dry your feet thoroughly, and, if possible, apply a soothing oil like castor oil or olive oil to lock in moisture and further promote healing. This simple practice can easily be incorporated into a daily routine, requiring just a few minutes of your time, but offering long-term relief and improvement in foot health.
I'm going to demonstrate to you with Joshua how you can do the hot and cold treatments. So you need a bucket of hot and a bucket of cold. And what you also need is another kettle beside, which we'll get ready here. So this is the hot. If you could put it in the hot. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, both in there. Now this is very simple. This is hot for 3 minutes, so we're looking at the clock, so at almost 1:15. Joshua put his feet back in the cold. Now there's a few reasons why we would do this. One would be that Joshua had a bad headache. One would be that he had a bad chest cold. One would be maybe he's got cramping in his abdomen. Or we would do it for a sprained ankle, or we would do it for an ingrown toenail. I had plantar fasciitis for a while. That's the inflammation of the plantar fascia tendon at the bottom of the foot. And the doctor said to me, it will be 10 months before you recover from this. And I thought, I'm going to speed this up. You know, it takes longer for tendons and ligaments to heal than bones. So I did this every morning. I did 3 minutes hot, 30 seconds cold, 3 times. Every morning and every afternoon. And I would lecture every morning for 2 hours, and by the end of the lecture my foot was aching. I'd go home and I'd do hot and colds, and at the end of the hot and colds I had no pain at all. I conquered it in 6 months instead of 10 months. And it's quite painful. It's painful to walk. How did I do it? Maybe I was running up a hill and trod on a rock, or I don't know, but it happened. Now, Many people have contacted me with plantar fasciitis, and I tell them what to do, and guess what? They don't do it. One man said, but the doctor says if I have this operation and I take this drug. He got back to me 2 months later, it didn't work. And now you've got the side effect of the drug. So what was my answer? Go back to the hot. It's too simple and it's time consuming. How long does it take, students? What's the maths on that? 15 minutes. Have you got 15 minutes? Everyone's got 15 minutes. Look at how much time people spend watching television. How many people spend time on the... And actually, if you want to watch television, as you'll see on Saturday morning, you've got to be very careful what you watch, because some of the bad messages going into the brain changes the way we think. Maybe you'll watch a nice documentary, or Jeremy was telling me how he was watching about how the ear works and the eye works. That's good stuff to watch. We'll do your hot and colds then. I think we're nearly to 3 minutes, so I'm just going to get some ice, handful of ice. The hotter the hot, the colder the cold, the better the reaction. A bit more, I think. Okay, I think we're nearly, yep. Now what I don't usually have to ask the person to put it back in the hot. You can count to 30 if you like. But what I'd prefer to do is wait until I can put more hot in that. My kettle's nearly boiled. Now while the person's got their feet in the cold water, you top up the hot. And you'll find that after the cold, they can handle the hot a little bit better. And because Joshua has had his feet in the hot water, the cold's almost a relief. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's still smiling.
Whether you're on your feet all day or dealing with chronic foot pain, hot and cold foot baths provide an effective, natural way to care for your feet without needing any special equipment or treatments. Use castor oil. For those dealing with chronic foot pain or swelling, Barbara suggests incorporating castor oil packs. Castor oil is known for its anti-inflammatory properties, and applying a warm castor oil pack to the feet can soothe discomfort, reduce swelling, and help your body heal naturally. It's a remedy that's been used for centuries and can be easily done at home.
Now I'd like to look at castor oil. And castor oil is something that penetrates deep into the body. I never advise taking castor oil by mouth because it can be quite irritating. So I'm going to show you how to make a pack. So here is, I think we're familiar with them, they're blueies. Oh, this is a greenie, but it's an incontinence pad. So what we do is we get those and we cut them and we take off that top layer and we put several layers in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 layers of that old sheeting in there. You see, the thicker the compress, the more castor oil it can hold and the more castor oil that can go into your body. And what we do then is we tape the edges. And the reason we go to a bit of effort to do this, you can also stitch the corners because this is a compress, so it can be used again and again and again and again. And the beauty of it is it has a plastic backing on it, and you want that plastic to protect your clothing. A castor oil compress is something that I apply to my hand every night. So you might notice I've still got a little bit of swelling in my hand. It's been only 8 weeks since I broke this. The X-ray confirms that my bones are healed, but there's still a little bit of swelling there because it was quite a serious break. So I've brought you over my castor oil compress, and I've used one of those sheets that the 15-year-old's knee went through. I've actually got about 10 layers there, and I put that on my hand like this, and I bandage it. I'm getting very good at this because I do it every night, because I quickly discovered my husband's not a nurse. He does it in a bit of a hurry and doesn't do it quite right. And so there's my castor oil compress that I will sleep with. I sleep with it every night. So why am I putting a castor oil compress on this? Because that was quite serious damage. My ulna was fractured, my radius was totally broken and out of place. Whenever you've got an injury, you've got the possibility of scar tissue building up. And so This is very good at stopping scar tissue developing, and many people have problems years later from after an injury from scar tissue. So if someone maybe had appendix taken out 10 years ago, sometimes they get more problems now because of scar tissue building up from that. So castor oil will break up any unnatural substance. So it'll break up a bone spur, it'll break up kidney stones, it'll break up gallstones. It will even help to break cataracts up, so you can put a drop of castor oil on your finger and wipe it over your eye, then do it to the other eye. Could you put it in your eye? Absolutely. It's just easier to wipe it over your eye though, because it's so sticky. So if you know what castor oil does, you start to know where to apply it. When I was in, I think it was Nebraska last year, a lady came to me and she was in her 70s. She said, my foot had this bunion on it, and the bunion came out about 1/2 inch. She said, I've been applying a castor oil compress to it every night for 2 months and it's gone. So that's good news. So any bony formations, bone spurs, very good at breaking up bone spurs. Obviously it's not going to do it overnight, and it's not going to do it sometimes in a month. Depends how long it's been there, depends how big it is, depends how serious it is. I've known ladies to break up fibroids by applying the castor oil compress. This would be a good size for the abdomen.
Boost foot health with diet. Did you know that what you eat plays a major role in foot health? Barbara ONeill explains that inflammation, a common cause of foot pain, can be reduced through an anti-inflammatory diet. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like flax seeds and walnuts, can help reduce inflammation, not just in your feet, but throughout your body. According to a review in the journal Nutrients, a study explored how diet can impact healing in people with diabetic foot ulcers, which are serious wounds that can occur in individuals with diabetes. The researchers wanted to find out if providing patients with specific nutritional supplements and educating them about healthy eating could help reduce inflammation, a key factor in wound healing. In the study, participants were divided into 2 groups. One group received nutritional supplements that included important vitamins and minerals known to help reduce inflammation, while the other group did not receive any supplements. Over a period of 12 weeks, the researchers measured levels of a specific inflammatory marker in the participants' blood. They found that those who received the supplements had significantly lower levels of this inflammatory marker compared to those who did not. This suggests that improving the intake of essential nutrients can positively affect inflammation in patients with diabetic foot ulcers. The findings highlight that many patients with diabetic foot ulcers often do not get enough vital nutrients from their diets. Nutrients like vitamins C, A, and E, as well as minerals such as zinc, manganese, and copper, are crucial for reducing inflammation and promoting healing. This study is significant because it specifically looks at how dietary changes can impact inflammation in these patients. Magnesium is another essential nutrient for foot health, as it helps to relax muscles and prevent cramps. Eating magnesium-rich foods like spinach, pumpkin seeds, and almonds can help keep your feet feeling strong and pain-free. Incorporate healthy lifestyle changes. Barbara ONeill also emphasizes the importance of lifestyle habits that support foot health. One of her top recommendations is walking barefoot on natural surfaces, a practice known as grounding. Walking barefoot on grass, sand, or soil helps strengthen the muscles in your feet, improves balance, and stimulates nerve endings. It's a simple habit that can make a big difference in your overall foot health. On the flip side, Barbara warns about common habits that can weaken your feet. Shoes with poor support, especially high heels or flat shoes without arch support, can lead to foot pain and long-term issues. Choosing shoes with proper arch support and giving your feet time to rest and recover are crucial for maintaining foot health. Cayenne pepper compresses. Barbara ONeill highly recommends cayenne pepper compresses as a powerful natural remedy for improving foot health, especially for those dealing with poor circulation, nerve pain, or chronic foot discomfort. Cayenne pepper, known for its high content of capsaicin, has long been used for its warming and pain-relieving properties. When applied to the skin, capsaicin works by increasing blood flow to the area, helping to relieve pain and inflammation.
Now we're going to have a look at cayenne pepper. This is my travelling pack. I take cayenne pepper everywhere with me. Cayenne pepper is a remarkable herb. Cayenne pepper is not chili. Chili comes from the chili family, and cayenne pepper comes from the capsicum family. Chili is an irritant to the lining of the gastrointestinal tract. Black pepper is an irritant to the lining of the gastrointestinal tract, but cayenne pepper will heal a stomach ulcer. Cayenne pepper moves blood. It's one of the best circulatory stimulants there is. It's not a nervous system stimulant like your caffeines or your tobacco. It's a blood stimulant. And when you consider that the life of the flesh is in the blood, cayenne pepper is a wonderful healer. And you can put cayenne pepper with any other herb and it'll intensify its action. So let's begin by looking at how you can use cayenne pepper internally. By the way, how would you take it? Well, a medicinal dose may be 1/4 teaspoon in a little bit of water and throw it down. Won't it burn? Well, I prefer to call it tingle. It might feel like it's burning, but it will never burn. I have a book at home by Jethro Kloss called Back to Eden. He devotes half a page to every herb except for cayenne pepper. 10 pages he devotes to cayenne pepper. It's a remarkable herb, and I think I mentioned this the other night. You can get an ebook. It's called Curing with Cayenne by Sam Beiser, and you can download that book. The whole book is on cayenne pepper. It's a remarkable herb. So let's have a look at internally. Internally, it'll heal a stomach ulcer, because what the cayenne does, it causes a constriction of any open blood vessels. So just for a moment, let's look at externally. If you have a cut, you pour cayenne pepper into it and it'll stop the bleeding. Now, we had a Fijian doctor come over and work with me for a couple of weeks. She wanted to look at what we did. Do you know she works in Suva now, and her name is the nutritional doctor. She works all with natural medicines. But let's back to Misty Mountain. I'm giving a lecture, and I heard a crash in the kitchen, but I just kept lecturing, as I always do. Like when the little girl does ballerinas there, I just keep lecturing. Yes, the building might fall down, and I just might keep lecturing. That's my job, just keep lecturing. I was in the Bronx, New York, lecturing one day, and behind everyone, a policeman came in with his gun drawn. I just kept lecturing. He went out again. So the good news, we're going to keep going. Anyway, where was I? Misty Mountain, and we've got the doctor. Crash in the kitchen. Found out later the blender had dropped and she had bare feet as Fijians do. And you know how thick blenders are? 3 bits of glass had gone on the top of her foot, and she had 3 1 centimetre long cuts on the top of her feet. And the staff were saying, Barbara, quick. So I went outside, and just like most Fijians, she's laughing. And I looked at her foot, and I could see little globules of fat. How deep is that? That's very deep. I said, don't worry about it, we'll fix it. So I went and got the cayenne pepper, and I sprinkled cayenne pepper in it. Anyway, she laughed the louder, as Fijians do. Most others would have screamed. Doesn't it hurt? Well, it's already hurting. So it just hurts a little bit more. And only hurts momentarily. It's like when you put cayenne pepper in your mouth, the tingle dies down. And then we bound it up. Well, I saw her the next day and she said, I can't believe this. She said, I would have stitched that. She said, if I'd been near a hospital, she said, I would have stitched that. But she said, this has drawn it together. She said, all the swelling's gone down. She said, it's unbelievable. So you see, her experiences at Misty, maybe that one, was very helpful on her knowing how to treat. And that's what cayenne will do.
To create a cayenne pepper compress for the feet, Barbara ONeill suggests mixing a small amount of cayenne pepper powder with warm water to form a paste. You can also add a little olive oil or coconut oil to the mixture to create a smoother consistency and to help moisturize the skin. Once the paste is ready, it can be spread over a soft cloth or gauze and then wrapped around the affected foot or area. The warmth from the cayenne will immediately begin to stimulate circulation, which helps to bring oxygen and nutrients to the tissues, supporting the body's natural healing processes.
You can also use cayenne pepper to wake up areas of the body that may be sleeping. Now, we have had a few people come to our program who've got peripheral neuropathy. That means they've lost the feeling in their feet. And this is one of the side effects of chemotherapy. So we've had a few people come who have lost the feeling in their feet. And it can also be used when people get commonly cold feet. You must never allow your feet to get cold, because perfect health requires perfect circulation, and perfect circulation means that your feet are the same as the rest of your body, the same temperature. I used to get cold feet a lot till I started exercising. You see, exercise is the best cure for poor circulation, especially that interval training. But we have had many people come with cold feet, and we've had a few people come with peripheral neuropathy. They've lost the feelings in their extremities. Now, if someone's lost the feelings in their extremities, you can never do hot and cold foot treatments on them. You put cold feet into really hot water, you can damage the tissues. So you have to be very cautious with that. But you can put a cayenne pepper compress on the bottom of the feet. Now, what I usually do, now you see what I've done here. I've got a piece of Glad wrap and I've got kitchen paper that's been folded over. I'm going to put a light sprinkle of oil on that, and then I'm going to sprinkle about half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper on that. And what the person does, they put their foot straight on the cayenne pepper, wrap the Glad wrap round, put it in a sock and keep it on all night. And by morning, their feet are warm, and their feet stay warm. I had one man who'd lost all feeling in his feet, and on the second night, he got pins and needles in his feet. What's pins and needles? That's the first sign that life's coming back in the feet. You see, it's very, very gentle. So usually I put olive oil, and I haven't got olive oil, so I'm just going to do a little bit of castor oil here. So just a little smear of olive oil or castor oil, just enough to so that the cayenne pepper will stick. And now I just spread that over so it's spread out. And I have put a little bit too much on there, but that will be just enough for the other foot. So I'm just going to put another one on so that to mop it up, because it's, oh yes. So I've easily got enough for 2 feet here. And most of us have got 2 feet, yes. And now I'm going to sprinkle the cayenne pepper on. So the oil is just so that the cayenne pepper sticks to it. Because if you didn't put the oil on, of course the cayenne pepper would just all fall off. Now this is about how much I put on. So you see that? And then the foot goes on that. It will not burn the foot. If I put that on my foot, and we're not going to do it in this weather, because we're warm enough anyway, but if I put that on my foot, by about 4 in the morning, I'm waking up wanting to take them off. My feet are getting so hot. But if someone has cold feet, by morning their feet are just getting warm. If someone has no feeling in their feet, sometimes it will take 2 nights before it will come. Now, if you put it on your feet every night, you're going to want to sit with your feet in ice water all day long because your feet will get too hot. So what I usually suggest, if someone has cold feet, do it about every 3 nights until their feet stay warm. And if someone has no feeling in their feet, even then I would probably only do it every 2 nights. And of course, you wait for your result. You would stop if the person has full feeling in their feet and their feet feel like they're on fire the whole time, then you would stop. So you watch the body's response, but it's very, very safe. That's very, very safe compress. And it can bring feeling into feet that nothing else will do. Remember what cayenne pepper does? What I like to do is I like to understand what the actives are in the herb, and then you know to apply it. And its number one most important active is it moves blood. So it's going to pull blood to the area when you've got that on the bottom of the feet. So when you take it off in the morning, you just wipe it with a wet washer, dry it, and put your shoes and socks on. Now, very important to keep your feet warm. We're coming into winter. Don't let your feet get cold, because cold feet drives cool blood back to the extremities, which can be very bad for the health of your internal organs.
Barbara notes that cayenne pepper compresses are especially beneficial for conditions such as cold feet, poor circulation, or even nerve pain related to conditions like diabetes or neuropathy. By increasing blood flow, cayenne pepper can help improve sensation in the feet, making it a great remedy for those who experience numbness or tingling. It's important to note, however, that Barbara ONeill advises caution when using cayenne on sensitive skin. It's recommended to test a small area of the skin first to ensure there's no irritation or adverse reaction. If the skin becomes too hot or irritated, the compress should be removed and the area rinsed with cool water. For best results, the cayenne pepper compress can be left on the feet for about 15 to 20 minutes. Afterward, the feet should be washed thoroughly to remove any remaining pepper. Barbara ONeill emphasizes that this remedy can be repeated regularly, as it not only helps improve circulation and alleviate pain, but also strengthens the health of the feet over time. By incorporating cayenne pepper compresses into your routine, you can experience natural pain relief and support foot health in a way that works with your body's healing abilities. This warming, circulation-boosting remedy is a simple and effective tool for maintaining healthy, strong feet.